Rachel from Cougar Board, and we're lucky to have Cash Peterman here with us today. This is part 2 of our 3-part series, so make sure you watch part 1 and part 3. Thanks for being with us, Cash.
So glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about when you were recruited by BYU and what that was like.
Yeah, I think that was a very special time for me. I just moved and was really trying my best to get into recruiting and everything like that. And my first game after moving up at Chandler, I had one of the best games of my career. I had 3 field goals, and Chandler hadn't kicked in like 3 years before that. And I was lucky enough to have a couple BYU recruits at the game because they were there for Gunner and they were there for Jacob. And so I was able to be connected with them after that game. And after that, just stayed in contact, talked with them all the way through the mission. Mostly recruited by Ed Lamb, and came back and ran right with it.
Were you recruited by other schools too, or just BYU?
Yeah, I was recruited by most of the Pac-12. Kickers, they oddly have a weird way of doing recruiting. So to be recruited and offered by a school, you have to go on the campus and you have to kick at their kicking camp.
Oh, wow.
And so me and my dad did a little road trip up and down the West Coast, hitting all these schools and winning most of these camps, and ended up getting a few offers from most of these schools.
So why did you choose BYU?
I think I ended up choosing BYU because the friends I made at Chandler, I wanted to come to BYU and play with my friends.
So you didn't really grow up just loving BYU and wanting to be a part of the team?
Yeah, oddly enough, growing up in Arizona, I knew about BYU, but I couldn't go to the games. I wasn't deep in the fan base. I wouldn't even say I was like an ASU fan or a U of A fan.
Yeah.
I think I just liked football in general. So yeah, I wouldn't say I was loyal until I got here. And now I bleed
now you
blue,
bleed blue.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so what year were you when you were recruited? Was that your senior year?
That was my junior year.
Okay.
So my junior year is when I started getting the ball rolling with recruiting and kicking and getting more eyes on me.
So you talked about your dad kind of taking you around. Is he a pretty big football fan too?
Yeah, he loves football. Played football in high school and always wished he could have went and played in college.
Yeah.
But he was an old generation kicker. That's how I got into kicking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had the steel toe boot and still has it on his office.
Wow.
So he'll break that out every once in a while when we go kicking.
When you get in trouble.
Exactly.
Like, get the boot out.
Right.
So, is your mom and your brothers and sisters, are they football fans too?
I'd say they are more so. My brother plays, so he's a football fan,
yeah.
but I'd say they're more forced into it because they got to go to all the games.
They
They're
come
super
to
happy.
They come to your games?
They come to most of them, whenever they can.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd just say because they have to come to them, because the whole family's coming, they end up being football fans.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty exciting when you're in the stadium.
Oh yeah, they love it.
You can't help but like it. What's it like having your family in the stands? Does it help you?
Oh, it's so nice, especially after the game when you can just, when they come down to the fences, you can talk to them. It's just great. The whole environment at BYU, family surrounded, and is amazing.
So Jake went through a little bit of a slump this year. What's it like mentally to be a kicker?
It's rough. It's very rough to be a kicker, especially at this level. Just tons of pressure, especially with the fan base BYU has. I know he was getting tons of messages, good and bad, from both sides, and missing in times like that is really tough on the mental health because you automatically think something's wrong. You think you got to fix something, but that's a struggle being a kicker. You got to trust yourself. You're going to make mistakes and you got to bounce back. I still believe Jake's probably one of the best kickers I've ever seen, and can't wait to see what he does in the next level. Yeah.
So do you say affirmations in your mind when you're about to kick, or what goes through your head when you're in a tense moment?
I think I try. I think I used to do the affirmations, like telling myself certain things, but I think what I try and do is just not think at all. Like, the more clear my head can be, the easier it is to go out and make a kick, block out everything, and just go out and do it.
So just be totally present in the moment.
Exactly.
And
just
think
listen
about
to
the
Ryan
football
as he's holding it, and just go out and kick it.
Yeah. So every kicker has hit some really long field goals in practice. What's different with games?
I think the games, weather, atmosphere,
The crowd.
adrenaline, everything, people coming at you faster.
Yeah.
But I'd say most of it comes down to the opportunity. All the kickers, I believe, can make 60-plus yard field goals, especially at this level. I think everyone's good enough to do it, but finding a coach that's going to put you in for a 60-yard field goal, because if you miss, they get the ball at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, right.
That's the tough spot. So when you get the opportunity, taking the opportunities, the bigger deal.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us in part 2 of our series, and we'll see you again in part 3.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching this interview. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss the other 2 parts of this interview, plus all of our other interviews we do with BYU athletes. We also like to give a special thanks to our Cougar Board insiders for making this possible.